Welcome, everybody. There are some people who are vlogging right now. Today we'll speak about the new trends in the gaming and gambling industry with Mariana Todorova. She's a futurist and associated professor in the Institute of Psychology and Sociology at the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences. She has specialized in leadership in Harvard University, the John Kennedy School of Government, the International Visitor Leadership Program of the USA Department of State, and the Chinese Academy of Governments. She's author of two books as well, and she's the chair of Millennium Project and Hera City, as well as a member of the World Academy of Arts and Sciences. She was also representing Bulgaria at the UNESCO. Do not forget to use the Q&A form at the bottom of the screen to submit your questions. And at the end of our webinar, Mariana will answer the questions. Hi, Mariana.
Hi, thank you for having me today, and thank you for your kind introduction. I will start right now immediately because we don't have enough time and the new trends are so many. And I will touch only a few of them, but I think they are of great importance and will raise a lot of questions. So my aim today is not simply presenting the latest trends in the gaming and gambling industry, but rather I will try to forecast some key trends and explain how some of them will be realized. Undoubtedly, AI is the major game changer, and I will be presenting some of the leading trends connected with AI. Of course, the first manifestation of AI in gaming and gambling industry is creating games. This is a very hot topic, especially in the context of introduction of some products like Midjourney, DALL-E, Stable Diffusions, and of course, Sora. I will touch upon Sora in a few minutes. By using AI algorithms to generate new concepts and features games based on players' preferences and marketing trends, AI really can create completely different games and present it on this way. It still sounds abstract. So let's talk about Sora really. OpenAI introduced Sora a few days ago, and its premiere was how this text-to-video generator presents very beautiful and shocking realistic videos that are showcasing the AI model's capabilities. Sora now is available to a smaller number of researchers and creatives, and they will test the model before the broader public release. But really, my forecast that Sora will spell a disaster for the film industry and video industry because it's going to replace the work there, and it will create collective deepfake problems. But what is important to know is that Sora is able to generate complex scenes with multiple characters, specific type of motions, and very accurate details and subjects of backgrounds. And this very specific for this model understands not only the user prompt, what he or she has asked, but also how to possess that in physical world. And I'm explaining that because this is only a matter of time before AI becomes customized and will dynamically create game plots according to the desires and needs of the players. Nevertheless, in gaming or gambling sector, the first step in introducing large language models and generative models was just to present and to explain their general capabilities. Now, most of the products will be customized and will have specific niches. So I predict that very soon it's a matter of time before AI will become customized to gaming and gambling sector, and it will really create game plots, game narratives, and also architecture of new gambling games. And it will be so personalized because AI also has the capabilities to make diagnosis of our preferences just looking at our face expression. For example, the way I look at the screen will show to AI if I'm interested, if I'm bored, if I really like this game, or I could not be attached to it. Sora and some other similar generative AI products will make consortia with gaming and gambling industry, and will create a lot of personalized games. And of course, this leads to the second key trend here, which is personalization. Personalizing game content for individual players will be provided. This trend already started in movie industry, and if you like Netflix, you see that a lot of movies that don't have specific narrative or specific plot, and you can choose between different ways of development of the plot of the movie. So I predict that this kind of personalization will also happen in gaming and gambling industry. For example, the games will have a general, simple plot, and AI, by analyzing the age of the player, the gender, the geographic region that she or he is coming from, will suggest different levels of difficulties and challenges of the narrative or of the plot of the game. In addition, AI can analyze features by, I already said, demographic, gender, and representation of different generations, X, Y, and Z. And also, AI can follow the gamer searches and preferences, not only when they're playing specific games, but their behavior in general. It could detect what he or she really likes by her or his or her facial expression and general behavior. And I must warn that some of these functionalities are already forbidden in Europe, because in Europe, European Commission legislation that was initiated at the beginning of this year already for both face recognition and face expression analysis. But this is not forbidden in Asia, Latin America, and States. So I assume that gaming industry will take advantage from this kind of analysis. For example, representatives of generation X, which is between 1980 and 2000, prefer games with an Indiana Jones type of adventure plots, While Gen Z, the generation Z, which is possessed between 21st century 2000 and until 2015, they prefer plots that are regarding space, technology, and etc. And taking all this into consideration, we could adjust and adapt the game design. And of course, there are specific differences between the gender preferences. Women like more romantic plots, like the movie. They prefer to play games or to be involved in gambling for socializing reasons, while men prefer adventures and a lot of challenges. Um, Facial expression or hand movement on the mouse can indicate specific psychological states. And in this sense, AI can be extremely useful in limiting gaming and gambling addiction. And it is very effective in risk assessment because it can identify potential problem gamblers again by analyzing their behavior and how they intervene in the games. This AI could warn the operators or the gamers themselves before the problem escalates. So AI can play a significant role in helping to address gambling addiction by providing um, personalized intervention for like stopping the game or pop-upping of some signs that this is overtime and the player needs to stop. And it could help combating the gambling conditions via different tools. And the first one is, as I already mentioned, behavioral analysis. If we want to avoid the face recognition and face expression analysis, which is forbidden in Europe, we could involve AI to analyze the movement of our hands. And it is enough to show nervous state and kind of addiction. It is already proven by behavioral analysis. AI could detect these signs of compulsive gambling behavior also when it finds that the gamer doesn't leave his place and he's staying in front of the screen for many, many hours. And it can specifically calculate how many hours are already evidence for addiction. Another tool is predictive analytics. AI using such kind of data could detect different signs of addiction using again demographic information, the gambling or gaming history of the gamer, and other relevant factors. And for that reason, it will need to analyze large data sets. And maybe I assume and I can predict that in the future, a lot of operators of gaming and gambling industry will provide this data because it is matter of their interest to have healthy players which are not addicted and which could allow themselves to play the games and gambling games without being in a serious risks because the future of gaming and gambling will be also connected with strategies which mitigates the risks of deviant addiction. The third tool for mitigating these risks and preventing addiction is personalized intervention. As I said, a lot of AI-driven chatbots and virtual assistant can offer personalized support and guidance to the individuals that are struggling with gambling addiction. And these virtual support systems could be implemented in the games and in the gambling games. And they could provide 24/7 assistance, offering some advices, connections with specialists, psychologists, and etc. And of course, these chatbots or virtual assistants could not replace the real psychologist, but they could provide some initial help. And another mechanism in this perspective of trying to limit the gaming and gambling addiction is self-exclusion programs. For example, gamers who identify themselves in such kind of risks could ask to be blocked their access to such kind of website, apps, or venues if they have spent enough time or enough budget. Their behavior could be connected with such kind of AI assistant, and they could observe what they are doing and trying to stop or to switch off their access to this kind of websites or apps. And also AI could provide real-time monitoring. AI could monitor not only on online platforms and apps, but it could also analyze what is the user behavior in other activities, what kind of videos they're watching, what kind of content they're searching for. And they could flag suspicious activities, and they could provide this information. AI could provide this information both to operators and also to the people of risks. And I must confess that this approaches violates a lot of human rights, because it engage control, surveillance, real-time monitoring. But I think that they will be implemented to a certain extent in the future, because this will be one of the most effective mechanism in fighting the deviant addiction. And some other tools that AI could use to limit addictions is also to analyze social media posts, online forums, and other digital platforms. And of course, these functions sound quite concerning, as I said before, because AI could gather very sensitive information. But on the other hand, addictions are major problems both for the players and for the gambling and gaming businesses themselves. So I believe that AI will be harnessed in these functionalities to prevent addictions. And the last tool is machine learning models. As I said, the more data we have about the different deviant models in the different players, selected by gender, geographic regions, economical level and state of the country, the more AI will be prepared to detect different kind of addiction. Another very popular trend that is starting and is very popular now is AI, which can be involved in odd calculations in gambling by employing various techniques and algorithms, which again are designed to analyze historical data, assess of probabilities, and to generate different odds for different events or outcomes. This odd calculation provided by AI will be used by the gambling industry. And in this case, the chances will be very well calculated. Maybe in the far not so close future, some of the gambling operators will provide AI tools to support the users' choices. So they will have like personalized AI that could calculate the odds, but it will happen in the far future. And it's a matter of calculation if this would be a good strategy for the gambling industry. And of course, this odds calculation will happen again by using data analysis, machine learning models, statistical algorithms, and real-time analysis. Real-time analysis will be very important because when AI process the current data about how a sport game is developing, it could suggest different kind of odds calculation. And of course, it will make market analysis. AI will analyze betting markets and identify inefficiency, arbitrage opportunities, and pricing discrepancies. And it will go across different sports books and betting platforms to suggest the most effective formula. But it's a risky endeavor because if the gambling operators allow the users to use such kind of odds calculation, it might be it might create some problems, and it might also require some additional legislation and legal enacts. So this is just predicted as a new trend, but we'll see what will happen in the future. And from these functions of AI, we can naturally transit to the benefits of big data analysis. And big data analysis can really revolutionize the gaming and gambling industry by providing different valuable insights, enhancing player experiences, and optimizing the business activities. I often like to give the example of how by tracking taxi routes in New York, it is possible to predict the leading indicators of the US economy and whether it is in recession or it's in a good health. And again, here in this analysis, AI is involved. If taxis are traveling from New York to Manhattan quite often, uh, by analyzing that with AI, we can extract the trends that people have enough money and then they could spend them in restaurants and boutiques. And if the traveling of taxis between New York and Manhattan is in diminishing mood, that means that there are people not inclined to spend additional money, and this could be early warning signals for recession in states. And I provided this example just to illustrate that data analysis could detect very peculiar trends that we are not capable to observe. For example, if you are in a big shop and the music there is kind of pop music, people will be more to buy regular things that are not very expensive. But if you are in a luxury boutique and if the music there is a classical one, people will be more stimulated to spend money for expensive goods. And this is proven again by big data analysis. So we can also involve this kind of analysis in gaming and gambling sector. And it could extract very precious information. For example, make player behavioral analysis. It can analyze vast amounts of player data, including betting patterns, game preferences, and spending habits. And we could see how it is connected with the personal mood, with the weather condition outside, and with some other untypical and strange conditions that ordinary have nothing to do with the player's behavior. Big data could analyze that and could find some similarities. Big data can support also risk management. It can help gaming and gambling operators to identify and mitigate some risks associated with fraud, money laundering, and problem gambling, because it can detect frauds and strange behavior. Big data is also useful for personalized marketing approaches, because operators can segment their customer base and deliver targeted marketing campaigns. For example, they can observe that the representatives of Generation X prefer specific approaches, but the other Generation Y prefer another narrative, another plot, another marketing campaign, and they could segment their marketing strategies according to the audience. Because one size fits all is not appropriate for approaching different type of gamers and players. Big data is also part of predictive analytics. And for example, Generation Alpha, which is people who are now between 12 and 20, they have completely different way of gaming habits. And if the market wants to be prepared for these newcoming players, they will have to adjust their plots and narratives to this kind of generation, which is AI native, very connected to technologies, and this generation, for example, doesn't like that much games that are with historic narratives. So AI could be very useful processing data connected with the behavior of the generations. Big data could be also very useful for customer retention and loyalty programs. It can support identifying factors that influence customer loyalty and retention. And this is a way to keep the gamers and players loyal to the specific platform or app. And last but not least, big data analysis and AI could be very useful for regulatory compliance and responsible gaming, because it can promote responsible gambling practices, and it can also follow the new regulations and suggests new resolutions that will support this kind of new regulations. And now we'll discuss another big issue, another big trend in gaming and gambling industry, and this is, of course, these are, of course, virtual and augmented reality. Virtual reality and augmented reality offer really exciting opportunities for innovation within these two sectors, and they can provide really immersive and interactive experience for the players. And of course, VR player doesn't just play. They can enter multiple parallel realities. The players could be what they want. They could set their rules, and experience here is beyond gaming and beyond gambling. And it will stimulate all of our senses, and probably will be the next big thing after AI. We'll see different metaverses, and they will also suggest places for gaming and gambling entertainment. Virtual reality in gambling, there are already some trials. I saw them in Metaverse and into Decentraland. Decentraland is also a platform for kind of virtual reality experiences. And there are also some experiments with virtual casinos where players can enter a virtual casino environment. And this casino really replicate the ambience and the atmosphere of real world casinos. The players can explore different rooms, interact with other players. They can participate in various gambling activities such as slots, poker, blackjack, and roulette. And I assume that soon Meta and Decentraland will offer a great variety of that. The only obstacle until now was the hardware, because if we want to have a virtual reality experience, we'll need these specific masks. But now NVIDIA has quite good mask, and also Apple Vision Pro is also very good, and it provides a really quite realistic experience. So maybe it's a matter of few months this to be spread it into metaverse, and to be a new trend in the gaming and gambling industry. For example, there is a consultancy company which is called Accenture, and they have hired a space in metaverse, and they can meet their clients in this virtual reality environment. They have like a virtual office. So virtual reality will also provide immersive slots and table games. They can engage players to experience slot machines and table games. The gamers can interact with game elements. They can manipulate virtual chips and cards, and will enjoy dynamic animations and special effects. I also read an article where it was described that VR will enable the creation of immersive live viewer games where players can interact with real-life viewers in virtual settings. And they will be engaged in different type of games, but communicating with real human viewers. So it would be really very interactive. Another application of VR would be virtual sports betting. VR sports betting platforms will allow players to experience excitement of sports event in immersive virtual environment. I already saw how they applied virtual reality in Formula One contests. So with this Apple Pro Vision masks, people who want to watch the Formula One contest could do that in real time, but they also could have additional information about the real conditions, about the speed, about the bullets, and everything else. And the same principles will be applied in the gaming and gambling industry. The gamers and the players will have different dimensions of experience during the gameplay, and they will have the opportunity to choose to have more complicated challenges and different levels of experiences. And this will unfold according to the preferences of the players. And the next big thing is, of course, augmented reality, AR. Players can use AR-enabled mobile apps. Augmented reality is still not that much developed, because in general it will implement holograms in our reality, and it will create the concept of mixed or immersive reality. But The predictions are that within the next 2 years, we'll experience more and more augmented reality applications. For that reason, we just need very strong internet. But with the introduction of 6G in 10 years, it would be very usual thing, very common thing. But still, with specific application, it's already possible in some specific games. And it will be implemented in different games, and we'll observe interactive casino tables because AR technology will transform traditional casino tables into interactive gaming platforms. And players will see digital overlays on the table surface, and they will display game statistics, they will display betting options. In general, there will be very interactive elements for enhanced gameplay. And it is different from the virtual reality because in that case, it would be just a screen shown, and we won't have the need to wear the specific hardware like masks for virtual reality. There will be augmented reality slot machines, and these machines will offer dynamic visual and interactive features that will respond to the personalized player action. It will be very individualized. These slot machines will react according to the behavior of the specific gamer. And players would be able to see 3D animations and different visual effects that would be overlaid on the slot machine screen. And of course, you might suggest that this will create a really engaging and immersive gaming experience. Some of the AI augmented reality will be implemented in real casinos because this is the way that casinos will leverage their performance and would be more attractive for visitors. And players there will use augmented reality enabled devices. The slots and the machines would be completely different, and people would be able to discover whatever, for example, hidden treasuries. They will solve puzzles, unlock rewards, and will explore the casino environment on a very different way. So this new kind of games will look like a very immersive environment. The games will be designed for VR and AR, and they will suggest stunning graphics with additional information, very realistic sound effects. They will provide very dynamic animations and will transport players to virtual worlds for a new type of adventures. And in this concept, it's very popular, the so-called interactive gameplay. Players will be capable to interact with virtual objects like holograms or just objects that exist in the virtual reality. They will interact with virtual characters. They will use hand gestures like in the real world. They could use voice command instead of doing that by hands. And they could use some tracking technologies um, to make the game with the sense of really realistic and happening as it's real. And also the players would be able to customize their gaming experience according to their attitude, mood. They could adjust the level of difficultness of the game, and they will have the possibility to choose on different levels of difficulty of the game. And all these experiences will be very personalized because players will receive targeted recommendations if they need to be supported in their gaming strategies. They will receive bonuses according to their performance and rewards that are based on their not just only their current game, but also based on their gaming history, levels of achievements, and etc. I remember that in the previous speakers here in front of this audience have talked in details about gamification, so I will mention only few aspects of it. Gamification will transform traditional casino games into gamified experience. We could expect that. And the new kind of game plots and narratives to stimulating players to complete challenges, to unlock different rewards, to have progress through levels. And of course, this is again making the games more engaging and interactive. But what is new, as I can see as a new trend, is the so-called skill-based games. And they combine elements of luck, but also with players' skills. And this will attract gamers who prefer skill challenges over pure chance. So this is a new trend. And last but not least, what can I observe as some other important trends that are promoted in gaming and gambling industries? This is the environmental sustainability, of course. This is in the concept of ESG policies. And this trend promotes sustainable gaming practices by focusing on energy efficient services and responsible sourcing of hardware. What we can also expect in the future are 3D and holographic gaming. This will be the continuation of the concept of augmented reality. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. We'll see more and more experiments with 3D graphics and holographic displays. All of the gaming and gambling industries will follow very tightly all of the emerging technologies because they would like to involve them in the development of the games. that would be in the future the quantum computing and the edge computing. And of course, the regulatory compliance would also be very important. I tend to finish now because I assume that there are some questions in the Q&A section. So now I will open them and try to answer them. So the first question is from Diana Diakova. Are there AI products that can personalize every step of the player journey? They are not elaborated at this very moment, but it is possible. It would be possible, and it is already possible, because if we give an access to AI of our screen, and if we use camera, it could analyze our behavior quite well, not only by analyzing our face expression, but also movements. And there are also AI tools that can analyze our way of speaking by tonality of our voice. AI could predict what kind of choice we are going to make. And it is not analyzing the content of our language. It is just analyzing the tonality of our voice, and it could say what is the emotion behind the tonality of our voice. So it is possible, and it would be possible, but there will be very strict regulations. So it probably will be forbidden in European Union for sure. But for example, the United States of America applies that kind of AI when they want to investigate the possibility of future terrorist attacks. They're analyzing the voices of people who are suspected for terrorism. The second question is from Nadia Balanova. Can AI and real-time personalized interventions address the significant industry problems of player retention and churn prevention? Yes, for sure. But for that, the industry itself, I mean gaming and gambling industry, should be ready to provide the data to AI tools, because for AI to find different patterns and to provide a solution on that base, it should be taught on this data. And the other approach is for the gaming and gambling industry to its custom that could analyze their own data and extract some trends. It could happen. It is possible, but in this case, the industry will need a lot of collected data. Otherwise, the results won't be precise and may produce some hallucinations. You know that when AI models don't have enough data, they produce biases, hallucinations, and etc. Excuse me. We have very interesting question from anonymous attendee about ethical consideration Uh, as I mentioned, when AI is using and has access to specific player's behavior, his or her facial expression or way of movements or any way of behavior, it could also analyze very sensitive data. For example, if we use AI to trying to detect um, some kind of addiction, the same AI could use the facial expression to find some physical diseases because the principle is the same. We can use face expression not only to detect some addiction, screen addiction, but we could detect different kind of mental conditions and illnesses. And this is very sensitive information because the players might be not informed that this AI, which might be very effective tool for combating addiction, could also analyze completely different issues like illnesses, mental conditions, mental stability, and etc. So I think that, and I support me myself. I strongly support very strict restrictions. Let me see the other questions. How AR technologies being leveraged to enhance players' engagement and retention? This is another very sensitive topic because AI, virtual reality, augmented reality concepts could really provide very exciting content and it could be the elements that strengthen the addiction because it will be so attractive, so really very interesting. So we have to find the balance between entertainment and new experiences and the chance to open the Pandora box and to provide the players such kind of tools that and games that could make them more dependent. So this is also an ethical choice, and we should be very responsible in keeping it very balanced, because otherwise it would be even more attractive than now. But virtual reality and augmented reality would be very dangerous in that perspective. Not only for the gaming and gambling industry, but for touristic industry, for entertaining, for everything. So again, the balance is needed. Diane Nedev is asking about responsible attitude in players. I've touched that in the presentation, but if the game and game world providers also support AI that could switch off the game or provide some warning signals that the players are entering in the dangerous zones of addiction. They just can automatically stop the game or then can prepare some reports on daily, weekly, or monthly basis that this specific player is endangered by addiction because he or she spends a lot of time and spends a lot of money for that. So AI could be restrictive and helpful in that sense. Danny Brown, according to you, what ethical considerations should be taken into account? I've already answered partially to this question. Uh, um, as a very important mm, condition, people should always know that when they use any kind of AI, they should know that the product or the service is provided by AI, but they also should know that a sensitive information might be collected, and people should be very responsible when they have to choose what they allow and what they don't allow while they're using specific platforms or apps. But again, AI is possible and it's possible, and AI is capable to detect very different phenomena. I've told you about the mental statement, mental conditions, our inclinations to make different choices. And we could be provoked to buy something or to spend more money, because AI will be capable to analyze really our emotions and our current conditions. So, what we need as a humanity, and not only for the sake of gaming and gambling industry safetiness, but also for uh, every other realms, we will need very specific new kind of um, digital skills and digital literacy, what we might expect from AI. About the other question about AI-powered innovations that are revolutionizing the gaming or gambling experience, this is a very long question, and I don't have time to discuss now, but definitely AI will have a very significant role in the industries. Do you think that the real casinos will disappear? No, I don't think that the real casinos will disappear because the different representatives of different generations have different needs. So unless there are people who are older and are used to physical casinos, they will have the need to attend these physical places. And besides that, one of the trends is that the real physical casinos implement virtual and augmented realities in these spaces, in these venues. So they are keeping themselves updated, and I don't think that they will disappear in the next 20 years. And the very last question I can see, it's from Zoran. I have the impression that technologies are going further than regulatory environment. This is a very precise and philosophical question. I have now a PhD student, and I advise her topic to be dedicated on these issues because they are very important. We really could not catch up with the regulations because every new day we have new technologies, new different cases, and we still don't have any reflections on that. And the regulations are really stepping behind all of these new phenomena that are born and appear as a result of the new technology. So we could not make a pause as Elon Musk and some other researchers suggested in March. We could just have civil opinion and could be very insistive to the different institutions to elaborate regulations. The European Union also started that in Britain. There is a Bletchley Declaration. They have some good statements about AI regulations. Also, the so-called Biden Act of the American president, which was published in November, also have some good statement about some initial regulations, but still this is a problem. And we need to focus the institutions on that topic and to be insistive to elaborate a regulatory framework. And I think this is for now. Sorry for I was very, I've talked a lot about different topics, but I think it was important to touch all of these topics and questions.
Yes, they're very topic. This topic are very interesting and very important. Thank you for sharing your time and your knowledge with us. And we'll see you, I hope, soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.